Hey everyone at YouTube, I wanted to share my thoughts on the new Dark Knight Rises teaser trailer that's out. Yes, there is a teaser trailer out for The Dark Knight Rises. Finally, this is going to be awesome. It was released with the Harry Potter movie, which actually was very, very awesome. I myself am not a Harry Potter fanatic. I am a fan. I've seen the movies, but it was kind of refreshing in a way, being out of my element and seeing a huge, loyal fan base devoted to this franchise. In a way, it kind of reminded me of how I am with the Batman franchise and other comic book movies. But anyway, the big news is there's finally a teaser trailer for this movie, Dark Knight Rises. And I don't want to give away any spoilers to exactly... It's kind of weird protecting spoilers with a teaser trailer, but I really don't want to give it away because I think it's a teaser trailer you should see. It doesn't really reveal too many things that are new, but it does reveal one major important character looking like he is seriously wounded, trying to convince Batman to come back and why Gotham needs him. And it's very dramatic. Immediately caught my attention. I saw people in the theater watching that, and immediately when they saw that character in the hospital telling Bruce why Batman needs to come back, everyone went from an excited fanboy expression to an "oh my god, let's listen to what this thing has to say." Immediately the tone shifted drastically. The trailer also gave you a first look at Bane. Few very quick glimpses of Bane, which, by comparison, when The Dark Knight came out, when that teaser trailer, all we got was audio from the movie and the Dark Knight logo with the logo burning and exploding. This one we got a lot more for a teaser trailer. I know some people might have wanted more, but this is a teaser, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It makes everyone immediately want to see the movie, immediately want to read anything they can about the movie, and just excited as hell for this movie to come out. I've been excited the moment I heard it was official that it was coming out. Even before that, the moment I left the theater when I saw Dark Knight in 2008, I was excited for The Dark Knight Rises. The one thing I hope this teaser trailer does, two important things. One, there's no more question that this is Christopher Nolan's last Batman film. It says in the teaser, the conclusion to the Dark Knight legend. This is Christopher Nolan's interpretation of Batman, and he is finishing it. It will not continue after this. So that's why I really want people to enjoy this ride as much as they possibly can, and if you can, as spoiler-free as possible, because with a movie this epic and this grand and this important, it isn't fair to you to cheat yourself from enjoying the full experience by exposing yourself to spoilers or reading things ahead of time, because it lessens the effect of the movie and the campaign and things like that, and it lowers the anticipation, the hype, and those are things money can't buy. It's an experience that you look back on and say, wow, that was an awesome ride. Not just the movie itself, but the anticipation, the hype, everything that went into up to the movie itself was a fun, exciting time. And for people who want to skip that entirely, that's fine. You're missing out. You're missing out big time. You can do that if you want to, but people really should enjoy every ounce that they can from The Dark Knight Rises hype and campaign. There wasn't any sign of Catwoman or Anne Hathaway in the teaser trailer. I'll get that out of the way right now. But we did get some really great glimpses of Bane, more than the promo photo. And, he looks very intimidating, very much a dangerous threat. And it plays up the angle that Batman is in exile and he's not sure if he can come back. And, that's the story I pretty much predicted would happen, but seeing that in an official trailer is just... it excites you. It really does. Actually seeing it be real. Seeing that uncertainty and that danger, that uneasy feeling that everyone seems to have about Gotham and the people in it, and wondering if the city itself can be saved, and or if it's just going to be a hellhole for the everyone's lives that live there. It's such a dim trailer with not much glimmer of hope. It's more of a you have to save us. You are the only one that can. Please find it within yourself to rise up and conquer this evil, this fear. Protect us. Again, tying in with the title, it fits very well. And the character Bane fits very well with this theme because he is Batman's doppelganger in many ways. He is someone who is born from tragedy, who is highly skilled physically and mentally, and rivals him in many respects, rivals the Batman. Isn't quite as theatrical as Batman because, Batman's a bat, and Bane's just this monstrous hulking figure that dominates people and breaks them physically and mentally. So this is really the ideal villain for Batman to go up against for the finale. It's like, I suppose it's like the equivalent of a Superman trilogy, and he's fighting Darkseid in the final film. I compare it to that because Darkseid is Superman's most dangerous villain because he is physically and mentally the most dangerous villain Superman has. And like that, this is Batman's most dangerous villain in that respect. And the trailer sells that with the short glimpses of Bane that it has. It sells that idea that Bane is going to play a big role deciding where Gotham will fall. It's teetering right now between light and dark, and this movie's going to settle the whole thing, and it's going to be a big deal. I'm sure Tom Hardy will deliver an amazing performance as Bane. I'm sure Anne Hathaway will be great as Catwoman. We haven't heard anything yet, but when we do, it's going to be huge and big. I can't stand people who are doubting The Dark Knight Rises' success and how it might not live up to the hype. Let's analyze that for a minute. Dark Knight came out 2008. I remember reading every article I could get my hands on, every trailer, every video clip, everything. And I was invested in the movie before Heath Ledger died. This is a big factor for many people. It was only successful because Heath Ledger died. That's bull. Because before he passed away, and it was a tragedy, the movie already had all the momentum in the world going for it. It had all the fanfare, all the hype, all the investment from the fans. And when they saw the trailer and Heath's Joker, everyone just stared in awe and could not wait. And no, there's not a doubt in my mind that The Dark Knight still would have been a cultural phenomenon and a touchstone in many ways for that year in entertainment. I'm sure he still would have been nominated for an Academy Award. Would he have won it if he had lived? Probably, yeah. There wouldn't have been any question about a sympathy vote if he had lived, because it was an incredible performance. But Heath's death brought in an entire new fan base to The Dark Knight that otherwise wouldn't have seen it. Because last night, for me, watching the Harry Potter movies, I went there because I knew I was going to get an amazing, awesome movie. And my friends are huge Potter nuts. And I, not being a Potter fanatic, went anyway because I knew I was going to see an incredible movie, a finale, and one that I could take away from and say, wow, that was an amazing experience. The Dark Knight, you would have had that same fan base that would have come. People that knew what they were going to get, that knew it was going to be an incredible ride, and would have gotten around through word of mouth how great it really was, even without Heath Ledger's death. But because of his death, that increased the curiosity about the film, and for better or for worse, kind of gave The Dark Knight a shot in the arm, so to speak, of popularity, of marketing, of all that stuff because of Heath's tragedy. But it was not a sole contributing factor. That movie had many factors going for it, but The Dark Knight Rises doesn't have anything like that, and it will not have anything like that. And people are saying, well, if it doesn't have that infamous aspect to it, that means that it can't live up to that. It's absolutely not. Let's look at Christopher Nolan, the director. He's directed 5 films. Every one of them has been incredible from a filmmaking perspective. He's the father of the reboot genre. I really credit him as being the the one who started this trend in Hollywood with Batman Begins. He is responsible for reviving the Batman franchise, making an Oscar-winning comic book film, revolutionizing the genre. He does not have to come back. He was well aware that he didn't have to come back. He could have easily left after The Dark Knight. Didn't have to finish it, but he does. Why? Because he believes that there is a story worth telling that is on par or better than The Dark Knight. A director like that knows quality. He knows what's worth coming back for. He knows what's worth his time and what's not. If he believes in his heart that he can't pass up or he can't match The Dark Knight, he wouldn't have come back. So I believe firmly that Dark Knight Rises will be on par, if not better, than The Dark Knight. Now, worst case scenario, this could happen. On the grand scheme of things, in hindsight, this might be what happened, and it's not a bad scenario. Batman Begins set the bar, Dark Knight raised it way high, and then The Dark Knight Rises was just a little under par with The Dark Knight, just because of how infamous Heath's death was, and the marketing and the ridiculous expectations, all of that. So we have this giant uphill curve first from the first 2 movies, and then you have just a subtle, slight drop between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. That's the worst case scenario in my mind. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is the opposite of that, where you have Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, the curve is way high, and then from The Dark Knight to The Dark Knight Rises, it goes up a little bit. Because let's be honest here. I mean, I don't see how you can get bigger than The Dark Knight. I don't think you can. But, and when I say bigger, I mean like twice as big, that much bigger. Like twice as successful as The Dark Knight. I don't think that can happen. But a movie that is more than The Dark Knight, I think can happen, outgross it, outperform it. That can happen. Probably not by too much, because The Dark Knight was a phenomenon when it came out, as far as box office and, reviews and things like that. But The Dark Knight Rises can surpass that. By how much, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think it'll be like from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight, but this gigantic increase in quality. I don't think we're going to see that. Like The Dark Knight was just mediocre, and then The Dark Knight Rises is an amazing movie. That probably won't happen. But because The Dark Knight is such high quality and such a standard now. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic. The trailer for The Dark Knight Rises was incredible. It was fun. It was a teaser. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And I enjoyed it. So if you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are. What you loved seeing, what you wanted to see more of, what you hope to see more of in another trailer or a one-shot or a poster. If you have any worries about The Dark Knight Rises, post them. I love talking about it. And comment below and let me know. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye, YouTube.